I can't figure out whether I want to do a middle split or a side split in my hair.
You mean a part?
Whatever.
I was like, I'd like to see a side split. Or a middle split. Any kind of split.
If I did the splits, I would split.
Yeah. I don't care what is this generation below us?
X.
I could never remember.
Or maybe it's Z.
I think it's X. Because Amara would be Z and Jaden's X. So it's got to be Generation X. So I don't care how many of them make fun of my side part. I'm not getting rid of it. I look like an idiot with just the right down the middle. And
I tried it all day, but
it's not my jam.
It was mainly because I didn't care. I was too busy to care. It's like, take me as I am. I've said this before.
Or I'll leave.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Christina. We're two best friends who met in college 12 years ago. I'm now a stay-at-home mom with 2 children, a preteen and a toddler.
And I'm a career mom with a toddler. We've been through a lot of life together, and we're here to tell you all the stuff we wish people would have told us. We are Millennial Moms.
So we did not do a podcast this last time.
Yeah, sorry about that. We missed last week because life got even more chaotic than it usually is. And
it was insane.
The only night I couldn't do it was Tuesday, and that was the only night you could do it for last week. So we had to take a breather.
Yeah. It was actually, I mean, I enjoy our podcast, but if we do not do it on our specific night, it throws my entire week off. I had meetings every single night last week. It was
too much. It's too much.
It is. Like, whoever thought becoming an adult would be cool?
It is so not what I expected.
It is not. That's why I feel like I really just am. I'm a very hands-on mother. Because I want to, like, have her have as much fun and love as a little child before she has to experience adulthood.
Yeah.
Ew. Now I know why my mom did it. My mom was super mushy and lovey-dovey. And,
yeah.
She didn't tell me life was like this.
If I had known that at this age, life would be such shit, I definitely would not have tried to grow up so fast. Like, I really would have enjoyed my teens a little more than I did.
I feel like I did a really, really good job of enjoying my teens. Like, I went to a fairly strict school. Yeah. I never really did anything bad, but, like, we were always doing stuff. I thoroughly lived my teens. And I always say if I could go back to high school, I would, because it was...
You're one of those weird people.
I loved high school. There were 16 in my whole school. We had a blast. We traveled all over... everywhere. Like, all over the Midwest. We'd go to Chicago for competitions. And, I mean, we were horrible at basketball. Absolutely the worst.
We didn't even have a whole team.
No, we did.
Oh, did you pick up somebody off the street?
No, so we had 16 kids in the whole school, but there was just enough to have a boys' team and a girls' team. It was just perfect.
Whoa.
But you were in this certain class. Like, we weren't class D. We were like...
Class Z.
Class Z.
Generation
Z. But, I mean, I look back and I'm like, shout out to my high school teacher. He took us all the way to Kansas and Iowa to play all these basketball games. And we had during basketball season, we had a basketball game every single weekend. And we were horrible. Absolutely the worst basketball team on all of Class Z. Like, we never won a basketball game.
I believe that.
Not once.
You're not athletically gifted. You have a lot of talents.
And that's not one of them. And so, like, shout out to the teacher who was also the pastor of the school who still took us for all those years. Like, year after year after year, he traveled all over. I would have totally gave up. Like, all right, class meeting, you guys all suck. So, I'm giving up.
Have a good day.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But that's how you know, the teachers that really care and do it because they love it. You'd have to love it.
Oh, for sure.
To coach you.
To coach me. You have no idea. I look back at the adults in my life when I was a kid, or whatever I call anything under 18 a kid, 19.
Anything under 25. Mine keeps bumping up the older I get. Pretty soon it'll be anything under 30. Little whippersnapper.
I look back and I was like, wow, like, my mom did all this stuff and she was a single parent. And wow, this pastor didn't even get paid. He just gave us a school out of the goodness of his heart. And, like, we had a really good childhood, but you guys are saints for putting up with any of that.
Yeah.
I remember the teacher always having extra parent-teacher conferences with my mom saying, like, you have a very social child.
No.
We were like I think it's called a progressive school, where you could work as fast or as slow as you wanted.
Oh, okay.
So he would give us the assignment weeks ahead of time, and we would tape them onto our desks, and we could work as fast as slow as we wanted. Well, me being me, I would work and get everything done, and then for the rest of the weeks, I'd screw around and distract everyone around me. And so he also taught me how to sandwich, like, when you're trying to get a point across. He would, like, I would listen in on the parent-teacher conferences.
Are you sure you learned this lesson?
No, you gotta wait. So you give a compliment.
Okay.
Like, your daughter has great social skills.
Uh-huh.
She's distracting everyone in this entire school, and it's becoming a problem. She's got nice grades. So it's called the sandwich thing. He would, like, compliment, tell the problem, compliment, and then come back to
problem.
The hamburger. She's very distracting. She doesn't stop talking. And she argues about everything. I remember him saying, if I said the sky was blue, she'd argue with me for an hour that the sky was not blue.
That's why you don't do it now, because you got it all out.
Yes, this is true. But bless that soul who had to put up with that. But I still use that to this day. I will give a compliment. I will say what needs to be fixed, and then I'll give another compliment. I use that in my life.
So when you told me that I looked like a woolly mammoth in Africa, I'm missing where the ends of the sandwich were.
I was told that part was hilarious because once they saw the video, it really did look like that.
Again, where's the sandwich? Like, you could have been like...
You're a really good twerker. Wow, that looks like the woolly mammoth on Ice Age. You're a really good twerker. Sandwich. The buns of compliment, the hamburger.
Buns.
So shout out to all the adults that were actual adults when we were kids. And then now we're here, and I don't know how you guys were all so patient and kind.
I think there was a lot more drinking going on than we probably initially thought.
I don't think there was any. This was a religious, progressive school, by the way. Yeah. But I will say...
Still, that's all I drink is grape juice.
I got my personality from that teacher, because he was my teacher all the way through. And he's the most sarcastic human I've ever met in my life.
You'd have to be. And...
Thank you. This is where I got my personality. I'm sorry, or you're welcome. Shout out Pastor Lucan to being the craziest, most amazing human I've ever met.
Is he still with us?
He is. He said he would quit the school as soon as I graduated.
He was just happy to get you out of there.
He's like, I'm shutting it down. No more school. No, he waited until his youngest graduated, and now he's a professor at a university in North Carolina.
That's pretty cool, actually.
I'm still trying to get him to start teaching again so I can send my daughter to him, because he always threatened, if you ever have children, Elizabeth, I will never teach them. And I just thought that was funny, because I didn't think I'd ever have a child. And now that I do, I'm like, what the heck? Come back.
Could you imagine teaching her?
Come back here and open this school. He'd be like, oh, she's exactly like you. I can't do this. I'm going to raise the tuition rates double for her.
Triple
To make up for everything you put me through.
Yeah, speaking of problems with schools.
Oh.
I have made the decision.
Drum roll.
I was trying to see who could do it longer.
I won.
Yeah, I'm pulling Jaden out. And he is going to the public school next year.
Good. That was my vote. Sometimes private schools are just not for people.
Yeah.
I would say honestly, like, if we would have had someone who needed special, it would have not worked in our school.
Yeah. They do not have the resources.
Like, at all. It was one guy teaching 16 of us, and really it was like you taught yourself and read the directions and went to him for a question.
Yeah.
It's almost like that.
Yeah, except I think there's I think that it goes higher than the teachers. It's a conversation that I fully intend to pursue. Because I've spoke to other parents who have had the exact same issues. And I actually just spoke to a parent who pulled their child from Jaden's school, and I wanted to kind of get their feedback, you know, like, how's it going? Do you regret it? Because I've been going back and forth, you know, this for a while. And I had a really long conversation with them last night, actually. And they were saying how their child is just thriving where they are. And it has been a complete change. The child is happier. The grades have improved. They want to get up and go to school. This child has a ton of friends. And it made me really happy for that child, because I knew that they had been struggling with their time there. So they had always been in the back of my mind once they left. And so it was really nice to hear that they were doing really well. And then, you know, the parent said it was just such a stress relief for me. You know, it wasn't something where every single day was, well, what's today going to bring? And that's where I have been this year.
What I didn't understand, honestly, was why you pay for a private school, but because of his learning abilities, he had to be sent every day of the day to the public school. And I was like, why are you paying for a private school and you're not even getting the full-on private school experience? And so I didn't understand that.
It's been a mess. And you know, there was other people in power of, what would you call them, in the administration,
the powers that be at the institution.
Yeah, there were other people in the hierarchy previous years, and we had a really good experience. I don't know what changed. I don't know why it changed, but somebody new came in this year, and it has been a nightmare from the very first moment. And I'm done. And my son deserves better than that. And, you know, because we have been working with the public school in the mornings, I've really seen how caring they are and how much they understand, you know, our position. I feel like there's been a lack of empathy from the people in charge. And I don't have time for it. And my son doesn't have time for it.
And I think, I mean, I'm an outsider, and I just, from the second you know, you told me about this literally the night we started this podcast.
Yeah.
And from an outside view, just in observing, I was like, you gotta take him out.
You've been telling me for months and months, take him out. And I really tried to give him a chance. I was like, no, I really want, you know, I've enjoyed the previous years that he's had here. It's been really nice. But I will full on admit that it is due to the administration in charge. Period. And it's a conversation that I do intend to have, because if, you know, me and one or two other parents are having this that I've spoken to, you can't tell me that there aren't more, you know, that are having these frustrations and having these.
I'm sure there were some great Germans, you know, around World War II, but all we hear about is Hitler.
Well, you need to read the historical fiction that I've been reading.
It's all about the administration, baby.
No, it really is. And, you know, when you make a decision to put somebody as, you know, quote unquote, the face of, a corporation or whatnot.
You need to check on them.
You really need to do your due diligence because, one rocky foundation and the whole tower is going to crumble down. So.
Sad, but true. We're both taking a leap of faith this next school year because my daughter has been homeschooled by my friend also who I went to school with at this little school of 16, and she has an education degree, and she has been teaching homeschooling my daughter, and absolutely fantastic job. I don't know what 5-year-olds are supposed to be capable of, but Yara reads things off of TV, and she'll tell me what they say. And
Amara does too.
Really? And
you're just
she's the other day we were taking a bath, and she's sounding out Tresemme, and she sounded it out, and I was like, this is crazy.
Mari will point to her purple, the purple shampoo bottle, and she goes, oh, that's for me. And I said, how do you know that's for you? And she says, it says baby bath, calming. Whoa. And I'm like, you're not even 4.
That's insane.
I don't know where these children get this from because she read my text messages to me the other day. It was from somebody, but I had my phone. You know how kids are in there.
In your business.
Always just face in everything.
Y'all
and I
will sound out my text messages.
I'm like, okay, since you are so concerned, what does the text say? And she read it. The only word she didn't get was backyard.
Whoa.
Because, it's one long, and so she doesn't know how to break up the words yet. But it said, hi, yes, we are still on. I put the bounce house in the backyard. So the only part she couldn't get was backyard. And I don't know if this generation is just smarter than we were. Because that's, 4 and 5-year-olds that can read like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We decided to put her in the public school for kindergarten because she is an only child. Most likely will remain an only child. And as she
knock on wood.
And she needs some social interaction. Grace does give her a lot of social interaction, but
there's only 1 or 2.
There's only one child she has, but Grace takes her to church with her and takes her. Yara's considered part of her family, since I don't really have any family around here at all. So Grace's nieces and nephews, they're related.
Her surrogate family.
Yeah, they think Yara's related, and we don't tell her any different. But other than those, special moments where she sees the kids or whatever, Leon is really big into making sure she's out there in social interaction.
Yeah, it is important.
Honestly, 99.9% of my job is social interaction. So I think Leon
99.9% of your personality is social interaction. See the first part of this episode.
And so we're putting her in school next year, and there will be 12 in her class.
That's such a good number.
I was very happy with that number.
It's just big enough, but not too big to be lost in the shuffle.
And I know every single one of the parents.
That's nice.
It is super nice. I know the kids because they constantly have brought their kids to the library reading program and stuff. So Yara knows them, and it's also the number one reason we chose to raise our child in a small town.
Yeah. It'll be nice. I'm excited for her. She's super excited.
So excited. It's all she talks about. So, we shall see.
Oh, I didn't even tell you that reminded me that I am sending Amara to pre-K next year. So, I didn't know. When Jaden was her age, Fremont didn't have a pre-K public school program. It was only kindergarten and up, and then if you wanted pre-K, it was daycare or Head Start, one of those options. I did not realize that in the last couple of years, all the public schools now have a preschool program. So she had a play date with her new little friend yesterday, and she was telling me that this little girl goes to pre-K, and I was like, wait a minute, they're the same age. This girl just had a birthday, and Amara's birthday is next week. And so I started asking her about it, and she said, yeah, they have a preschool program. Just go in and sign her up. So,
I do know that Scribner has one because we're one of the only ones that's always had a preschool program in the entire area.
Isn't that weird? But that would make sense because it is a small town, so you probably don't have 8 and over, like too many.
Yeah.
But there's got to be a lot if every public school in Fremont, every elementary school has a pre-K program. That's a lot.
That is crazy.
But it's only for 3 hours in the morning, and all Amara wants to do is go to school. That's all she talks about. That's all, and it's not that
Same with Yara.
Yeah, not smart.
She loves school with Grace, but she really wants to go to school she sees on the cartoon.
With a backpack and their friends. Amara she's about to be 4, and 2 years out of her life were locked down from the pandemic. So she doesn't get out a whole lot. So
pandemic children are just a little different.
They're built a little bit different. She is
although honestly, I don't think Yara even knew the pandemic was happening.
Well, yeah, because you guys don't ever leave your house.
Well, true, but our town is just so small. It's almost it's almost like nothing was even happening.
Just like a little bubble.
Sometimes I'd leave my town and then I'd come to the big old city where she lives, and then I'd try to go inside somewhere and they're like, you need a mask. And I was like, excuse me, what is that? No.
Do you remember at the very beginning of the pandemic? I'm talking March.
Yeah.
When Shauna and I drove up to Scribner with the bandanas on, and we were joking about, we don't want to get Rona, so we're ironically wearing our masks. This was before masks were even
a thing.
And so we thought it was super hilarious. And I just found the pictures the other day, and I was like, wow, remember when a mask was funny?
Oh.
And a good joke?
No.
And I remember we were making jokes if you've swam in the Fremont Lakes, you're safe from coronavirus.
Yes.
And then it just
so
blew up.
Leon likes to say to me that he says, you are the only person on this planet who would get an economic job during the beginning
of a pandemic.
Yeah.
Like the downfall of the economy.
They asked me to come.
You're and I'm the economic director.
Yes. Oh.
But look at the miracles you've worked.
Yeah, it was kind of insane. When I went in, they didn't even tell me I had the job. They're like, hey, you're the only one that knows how to run a website or do anything like that. Can you come in and help us put together a COVID plan or whatever, coronavirus 19 or whatever they were calling it back then, town plan. And I was like, yeah, sure. So I went and I sat in the meeting with all these leaders and the police chief and the health department and all this stuff. And then the typing up everything they were saying to make sure that I could put it into a handbook. And then they direct me to a office and they're like, you can type it all up into here and put it on the website. And mind you, I don't know how to get onto their website. So then they're like, they put me in this office with a computer and they're like, okay, do your thing. And then the mayor comes in. He's like, by the way, the job is yours. This is 9:00 at night. And I'm typing up a COVID handbook.
You almost have COVID to thank for your thriving.
This is true because without that, I was able to get secure grants to help keep our businesses in line and then open up a food bank, tapping into another food bank and partnering up. And
I don't think you really give yourself enough credit for all that you've accomplished.
Because I'm too tired. And also, I don't remember any of it. So, yeah. I remember bits and pieces, but it's all kind of like a traumatic experience.
When you just kind of black out and go into autopilot.
Yeah.
That's what where they say 2020 to 2022 has been.
They say you have trauma and so your brain just chooses to not remember it, and that's
but I think that's the whole country for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
We have not a clue.
People thank me for doing things I don't remember doing.
I don't remember.
I'm like, you're welcome.
You're so welcome. What did I do?
And then I look at my phone and look for photos on that day that they claim I was helping, and I was like,
you should be like a detective.
Oh, yeah. I was there doing that. You're welcome.
Welcome.
I come from a very grateful town, so it actually spurs me to want to keep doing stuff for them. So there's that.
She says, unironically. I wish I had glasses sometimes to just...
No, you don't, because then I can't see without them.
Yeah, but you look so cute. And you can't wear contacts?
I can, but then I'm too lazy to take them out.
They have those, 30-day ones.
I know, but even the doctor was like, depends. Do you want to risk an eye infection? Even the 30-day ones aren't really.
You look so pretty without your glasses. I mean, you look pretty with them, too, but I see you in them so much that in the rare occasions that you take them off, I'm like, wow, look how pretty you are.
I can't see! I don't know!
You have to,
Am I pretty?
Yeah.
Even then, it's all blurry.
That's wild.
It is wild.
What else? Oh, you know what we were all doing? Well, you were saving the towns, but I was binging a lot of TV on the Netflix. I was reading a lot. I think, I don't remember 2020 because I think I was still numb. But by 2021, when I was like, oh, we're still round 2. Okay. So I'm going to find a hobby. So I was reading. And I think in 2021, I read 50 books because my goal this year is 60. And I'm already at 31. I counted today. So I have time. I might bump it up to 100 just for shits and giggles. But anyway.
I'm rolling my eyes so hard. I'm halfway through my second audiobook for the year.
I mean, you also have a career that you work 18 hours a day.
Yeah, it feels like that sometimes. But that is pretty impressive.
Yeah, so I was reading a lot of historical fiction, so there were good Germans, just so you know.
So, in 2020, let me tell you how well my life was going. It's short, but horribly unsweet. 2020 was the year my husband and I hit our 7th year anniversary. We also had a 3-year-old, which, if you were ever a parent, you know 3 is quite possibly the worst. And so we got 2020 pandemic, starting an economic job during a pandemic.
Yep.
Husband and I hitting our 7-year anniversary, which, if you know anything, 7 is rough.
What do they call it? The 7-year itch. Yeah. Okay.
Because you're just like, all walls are down. You're no longer trying to impress each other, and you're just trying to navigate why you still like each other. And, my job being crazy stressful did not help any of that mixture. And then our daughter was 3. So that was 2020. Like, it was ingredients for a nuclear.
Yeah, that sounds rough. My son was diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, you win. Jeez Louise. Always coming out.
She just flips the desk. And I play that card. Bam! No,
play the cancer card.
Yeah.
I lose.
Yeah. No, 2020, I mean, it was rough. I don't know a single person who 2020 did not push to the brink.
You know what's hilarious? I couldn't wait to...
Ring in 2020?
No. Use the I'm really big into marketing. It's part of my degree. Blah, blah, blah. I couldn't wait to use 2020 vision for the future of our town.
And then 2020 said, how about you not?
They're like, we're not going to give you 2020 vision. We're going to give you the eyes that you have, which are like...
barely working.
You're almost blind.
So anyway, my point was that I binged a lot of shows. So I haven't gotten out of that habit yet. So once in a while, there are some shows that I just binge in like a day. And I always have to wait till the weekend to start a show because I know I'm going to be up all night watching it. So I just finished, well, the finale is tomorrow. But Netflix's The Ultimatum. Have you heard of this?
Never heard of it.
You guys. Picture like super trashy reality TV, like dating.
Got it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then crank it up on steroids because these people. So the premise of the show is 6 couples, okay, go into the show. One of the people in the relationship having given the other one an ultimatum. You either marry me or we're done. Okay? So this Netflix decided, you know what would make this even funnier is if we put you all together and then have you guys date each other to see if there's anybody else that you could possibly see a future with. And then if two of you pick each other, you're going to go through a 3-week trial marriage with this stranger that you've been dating. So they pair them up. They don't pair them up. People date each other. So all of these couples are dating.
This is like a giant open relationship.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then at the end of, I don't know, a week, they have to decide if they like each other enough to have a trial marriage.
Well, now I gotta watch this. So don't tell me the end.
I won't, because it hasn't happened yet. But after the strangers have their trial marriage of 3 weeks, where they do move in together, then you get back with your original partner and do a 3-week trial marriage with them.
I'm going to tell you right now that I foresee that none of them are over the age of 30.
None of them are over the age of like 23.
Exactly, because there is no way on this planet either one of us have energy for that.
No. And my favorite was when they'd get on camera, like in the first episode, and they're like, "Hi, I'm so-and-so. I've been with my boyfriend for 2.5 years. I'm 23 and I am ready to get married. And I'm 34 looking at you like, oh, sweet child. You haven't, the tip of life's dick has not begun to enter."
Yeah, I would be like, I'm 21 and I've been married for like 3 years and I saved myself for marriage and now I don't even know if he loves me anymore. And so that's where we're at.
So
I would have annoyed myself.
Oh yeah, I can't stop watching it, so obviously they're doing something right. But I think it's been just like, you watch these episodes, you're like, And anyway, so that brought me to this one particular couple. I believe his name is Zay and her name is Ray. And Zay comes from a tough childhood, okay? Tough.
Don't we all?
Yeah. Oh, I'm just getting there. So he comes from a rough background. I feel for him. Like, that sucks.
You had to drive a BMW instead of a Benz or whatever those things are called.
It was pretty sad.
Are those the same thing? Benz and BMW?
Yeah, they're the same. No, yep. We wouldn't know. We're not rich. So, I give him, he had a rough childhood. However,
I'm pretty sure my bumper was tied onto my car growing up with a coat hanger. Just saying.
My mom just recently fixed hers with duct tape. You do what you gotta do.
Obviously, you can tell we come from money.
We're from humble beginnings. Anyway, but he is like, cannot stop playing the victim. And I'm watching him and he would do these awful things and say these awful things and then go, well, from where I come from and, it's hard for me to trust people and blah, blah, blah. And I am just like, you're obviously very young because, again, life gets harder from here. But we've all been through shit. And it gets to the point, like, the one thing that I don't have patience for, there's so many.
The fact that we're still friends, shocking.
Yeah,
she has zero patience.
Correct. But, I'm usually pretty empathetic with people and their situations. And I care a lot, how people are treated and things they've gone through. The one thing that I don't understand is when people use their past and things that they've gone through to be a shitty human being.
Oh, that does bug me because I'm like, by all means, you and I should both be really crappy.
Horrible people.
Yeah, and for the most part, I don't think we are.
I think that you, at some point...
I've never been like, my father left me, and that's why I'm like this.
Yeah.
No.
Ever. I mean, I could name 10 things off the top of my head right now that would have most people, curling up in a ball.
I feel like we took our situations that we grew up in and made something of it. Like, I am an amazing career woman person because I watched my mother be an amazing career person as a single mom.
Yeah.
So, like, don't be a victim. Be a victor. That's what my mom always said. Don't be a victim. Be a victor.
There are, like, it just really brings me to, like, how many toxic people there are who go around and destroy other humans because they were destroyed, you know? And it's like, if you know what somebody...
Go get therapy like the rest of us.
Because an enlightened human would realize, you know, why would I do to somebody else what hurt me so much? You know, I've never understood that, like break the cycle of trauma, like blah, blah, blah. Why is it passed down in the first place? Like, wouldn't you, I came from, you know, I'm adopted. I don't think we've discussed that yet, but I'm adopted, and my biological mother is something else. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. A real piece of work.
Stay tuned for one of those new episodes.
Yeah, that'll come out later. But she's a piece of work. Mm. And never once have I been like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and be a shitty mom to my children because, you know, my birth mom was X, Y, and Z, so I'm gonna go do these things. No, I said, because my birth mother was these things, I'm not going to do this to my children.
Which I remember asking my brother, she's pregnant with their 9th child.
Your brother's pregnant?
Yes, my brother's pregnant with his 9th child. And I remember asking him, like, 4 kids ago, I was like, why are you such a good dad? Like, you had no example. How are you such a good dad? The way he interacts with them. And he's like, because I knew what I wanted. And so that is how I treat them. And I was like, wow, go you. It's like that.
There's a certain person that I know who is getting up there in age to the point where it's embarrassing how much of a victim, when you can go through almost 40 years of life and never once think that you're to blame for anything. Huge red flag. Huge red flag. We are all in the wrong at some point. We have all been toxic to somebody. We have all hurt somebody else. We have all made mistakes. And it takes growing to look back and say, look back at a situation and be like, I really screwed up there.
I don't like laying in bed at night and thinking of what a crappy human I used to be, or crappy, bleh. Like, I could have been a better human.
Yeah.
And I don't like thinking about it, but I think it's good to think about it.
Because you have to.
If you're not thinking about it and remembering and cringing that you didn't do well in this situation years ago, you're not going to learn from it.
And you're not going to become a better person. Life is literally a journey. All you're trying to do in life is evolve and evolve and evolve and be better than you were.
If you don't recognize how bad you were, you're never going to have a foundation to grow from. What is that word called? Like in math class, there was this line.
You are math? You're asking the Siri. I am not the one to ask about math.
There's this line, and that's your baseline. Maybe it was called baseline.
It probably is.
So you had your baseline, and then from there, so recognize you did bad things. You were a bad person.
You made mistakes.
I've made plenty of mistakes.
Same.
And if I don't stop and recognize that I made those mistakes,
you can't level up.
I have a big thing about if you erase history, you will repeat history. And that is so big to me, along with do unto others as you'd like to have them do unto you. Those are my 2 biggest things. Do not erase the crappy person you used to be. Remember it so that you remember not to be that crappy person anymore.
Yeah, I 100%.
Don't play the victim. Don't ever be like, it's because
it's always something else. It's always somebody else.
I was talking to someone who was a little older than me, and I was telling them about how I love therapy, and they looked at me like, only crazy people go to therapy. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's not, that they didn't say it, but their face said it. Mm-hmm. And I just want people to know, it's not crazy people that go to therapy. It's people who want to have a healthy relationship. It's people who want to have a healthy outlook on life. Those are the people who go to therapy. That's why I started going to therapy. I was like, I think I should probably try and become a better human. I'm at that age now where it's not cool to be a sucky person who keeps making the same mistakes.
You just hit the nail on the head. And it's always the ones that are super anti-therapy that need to go the most.
This is true.
Where is the bad part of learning about yourself? Where is that? I mean, that's what you do in therapy.
Yeah.
You learn about yourself. Please tell me how that could be a bad thing. I can tell you when it would be a bad thing, when you're a bad human.
Yeah. Well, I also don't think there's a certain age of people, they're a little older than us, that were probably taught that, like, therapy is for crazy people who are crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So guess what? We're all crazy, but we're not crazy like that, what you're thinking. Like, they don't talk you down off of a ledge. They say, like, why do you think you did this? Or how do you think you could have handled the situation better? And don't ask me why. You could ask yourself these questions. But for some reason, when you're talking to another person and you're paying them and they have to listen to you for an entire hour.
And be unbiased.
You do get something out of it. I did. I mean, I think I was in it for 3 years before I took a little break because the podcast and work got crazy. And so I took a break from it, but I was like, I'll be back.
I'm sure of it.
Yeah, it's just, it keeps my brain. The reason I picked up this last time is because I was very overwhelmed with, like, you know, being a mom, a wife, my career. We started this podcast. Actually, she's the reason we might have started this podcast. She told me to get a hobby. Anyways, just, I needed to figure out how to prioritize my life and how to stop feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Tell me how that is going to a therapist because you're crazy. No, I needed her to teach me how to stop feeling so overwhelmed instead of playing the victim. Like, oh, I'm so overwhelmed, I can't parent today.
Yeah.
No, I'm like, teach me how to be a parent through it all.
And work through these
and a wife
things. And if therapy isn't your jam, there are so many journals, like self-therapy journals. You can write your stuff. It'll ask you, oh, Chrissy got us.
I was going to say, I started writing in it this weekend. It's
Chrissy got us, what's it called?
Burn After Writing.
Burn After Writing. And it's got, you know, some deep questions in there.
Did you read the first few pages?
No, I literally, like, opened it and was, like, writing.
I knew it. I actually read those first few pages.
You never get past them.
And so I read the first few pages and it says, like, you don't have to, like, go page to page, but to choose random pages.
Oh, so like what I did when I flipped it open and picked random questions.
Bite me. Whatever. You read those first things. And
no, I didn't. I just know that anyway.
Well, anyways, I was letting Yara pick the random pages.
Okay.
And then I would ask Leon the question along with myself, and then I would write my answer in.
It's really insightful and, like, kind of things you don't think about.
No.
But then once you're thinking about it, you're like, wow, you know? Like, what was the one that we read on our trip? Oh, it was in the car. You weren't there.
It wasn't there. It was listening.
It said if you could put anybody in a room for 24 hours.
Oh, that one was gruesome. I haven't ran into
and
that
torture them. But I don't think they meant, like, torture. I think they meant, like,
oh,
you know, like whatever you would think of a torture. Like, I don't know. Playing your music, playing Britney Spears for 24 hours.
Oh, okay, that's different. I thought torture with, like, poking hot devices.
I don't think it was that dark.
I was like, I guess don't hate anybody that much.
But that was one of them. And I think one of the questions was like, what's your deepest secret that you've never told or anything like that? There's some of them.
I'd be like, well, I'm not telling on this girl.
That's why it's called Burn After Writing. But anyway, stop playing the victim. If you think you're always right and you've never been wrong in life,
and honestly, playing the victim is
annoying for everybody around.
Well, I was gonna say we see through it, and nobody likes it, and people are gonna probably stop hanging out with you because they're sick of you always playing the victim.
This one
I know quite a few people I have quit hanging out. No, not recently. Like in life. I'm like, I don't need that. It's exhausting. Be like, please tell me today why the world's against you. I can't wait to find out.
Seriously.
And it's not like I'm gonna quit hanging out with you. No, I just gradually can't find time for you in my busy schedule anymore.
I'm very busy. But there's one person I can think of who is still single and has been through some relationships, and every time they get out of a relationship, it's always the other person's fault. Always. They were the perfect partner, and this person was crazy, or this person had somebody else. You know, it's always, and never proven. It's always these things. Never once have they uttered the words, wow, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I shouldn't have spoken to them in this manner. Maybe I should have been nicer. It's never those things, you know? And I'm always just like, who's the common denominator in all your failed relationships?
I'm seeing a pattern.
I'm seeing a pattern here.
Another math. Those word problems they taught us in math are making sense now.
Yeah.
Like, find the pattern.
All the watermelons.
Like, I did not date very many people, but the people I did date, pretty sure I broke it off with every single one of them. Because
sometimes you were in the wrong.
Yeah. Most of the time, I was in the wrong. It's because I'd have commitment issues, things were getting too serious, and I'm like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Or like, I'm the girl who goes to the bathroom and then climbs out the window. Not really, but figuratively. And that I realized that I can't keep repeating this pattern. So with Leon...
It was totally different approach.
Totally different. Like, I want this to be a healthy relationship. I want this to be, like, all the cards on the table. I'm the screwed up human.
Yeah. Well, you know what's so funny is that So I had 2 serious relationships before Randy. One, I was very young. That was Jaden's biological dad. And then 2 was our good friend who has now passed away. But that relationship with the second was so toxic and so volatile, and we were fighting all the time.
That's the one I pulled her back, and I was like hanging on to her coattails, and I said, think of your future!
That was that one, yeah. So, but it was not just him, and it was not just me. We both...
You learned from your mistakes.
But that's what I'm saying. So when I was with this individual, fighting was like how we were very passionate. Oh, we're so passionate.
But I remember...
We fight all the time.
But I remember in, like, our era, like, the Jersey Shore era, it was like Sammy and Ron. Ron and Sam. They were always fighting because they were just so passionate.
They just loved each other so much.
So they were passionate. And I feel like that was a very wrong way for relationships to be looked at. But that's how they looked at them. Was like, oh, they fight because
all the drama because they just love each other so much. So when I got out of that relationship finally and I started dating Randy, who's now my husband, it was very different. Randy is not a fighter. Randy will shut down and ignore you until you start to question your own existence. I don't do it anymore because I've learned. But back in the day, if I started screaming or yelling or getting physical with anything around the house, you know, when I got to a level that was inappropriate, he would just shut down and be like, I'm not talking to you.
Oh.
And he'd be like, until you can talk to me calmly, we're not going to have a conversation.
See,
and it would be 3 days.
I was never a screamer or a fighter. I was just a walk-awayer.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm bored with this relationship.
Goodbye.
Good day. And then I
said good day, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to be a peach, let me tell you what. And Leon is one of those people that you just, you'd not like that with him. I don't know, he just doesn't.
That's what I'm saying. Leon and Randy are very similar in the way that they will not, what's the word? Engage. They're not going to engage.
They're not going to even put up with our shenanigans.
That's what I'm saying. They will not engage.
Oh, you think you're going to walk away and, like, just call this quits?
Get back here.
Excuse me, ma'am. You sit down here right now.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What? This is not how it usually goes. Usually I walk out, they let me go, and we're both glad it's over. Like, what?
Thank God.
And so now we're about.
But that's what I'm saying. You had to learn how to not do the things that you were doing in your past. I had to learn how to communicate with somebody who was not going to scream and yell and fight with me. That took a very long time.
That is the thing too. When most of the reason I would walk out is to be like, it's starting to get a little rocky, and I'd be like, I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
And so then I'd just walk out. And so you would feel it get rocky and you'd fight.
Mm-hmm.
So those were our thing. Your fight, I'm flight. Fight or flight. Fight
That
and
is so accurate.
fight and flight.
We just picked our next tattoos.
Yeah, next. I don't have any. Hello. Like, reverse back about 3-5 minutes. Commitment issues.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't have any tattoos. Not because I don't like them. Like, go tattoos, yay! But they're they're on me forever. Okay, so like, one thing at a time.
And then there's me who has like 12. So I definitely don't. I don't think about that. We're so different.
So I recently helped bring in a tattoo studio into our town, and I think a lot of people were like, darn that Elizabeth, she's just young and one of those tattoo people.
And you're like, not a
and there was probably like 2 or 3 older people who complained about it.
Yeah.
And I knew they thought, oh, Elizabeth.
This
and
Elizabeth.
That young lady who has all those tattoos brought in this tattoo place on purpose because she wants tattoos. And, no, I mean, I love tattoos on people. They're great. They're beautiful. This is a wonderful tattoo artist. Will I ever get one? Nay, nay. Also, but when I was, like, showing them the place that they would be moving into to start their business, well, relocate their business, he said he heard that there is a 33, oh, wait, no, I just looked at the mile per hour wind. We're about to die. There's
12 warnings. What are
We've
they?
been ignoring them all because we've been recording. But
sorry.
Yeah, we might die. But before we die, I'm going to tell you this: the tattoo artist guy told me that there's a ink coming out that has they put it on you and it lasts 3 years. I was like, that's my kind of tattoo. Like,
yeah, that would be cool.
When you get that ink, you let me know and then I'll get a tattoo. But until then, ain't nothing being on my body permanent because I have to look at it for the rest of my life.
We're gonna go check the weather. We'll be right back.
Yeah, because we're gonna die.
Because I feel like there's a tornado coming. BRB. And we're back.
Woo, I had to go catch her. She was blowing down the street.
My eyelashes are still on though, guys.
It's pretty impressive.
They're those magnetic ones. And they stayed on.
That's crazy.
I thought I could take flight in that 65 mile per hour winds.
She just started batting her lashes and she started flying back.
It was wild.
Glamnetic.
Shout out to Glamnetic. No anchors needed. Anyway.
Go her for having the energy and motivation to put eyelashes on.
Yeah, I don't have any, so. And then mascara does nothing for them. Anyway, we thought we'd better come back and let you know we are alive.
We are alive.
We had a little bit of
We're wet. We got rained on a lot. That was blowing sideways.
It was. Welcome to the Midwest. We had to do what Midwesterners do and grab a beer and head out to the porch and watch the naders.
This morning it was cool and rainy out, and then all of a sudden it was 92 degrees out, and now we're dying in a storm. So we all knew it was coming. Anytime you have like all of a sudden really good weather, you know that evening you will die.
Yes. So it's fine. Anyway,
we're used to it.
Yeah. So I think we've covered all our bases.
Got it. Don't be a victim. Go get therapy. We all used to be kind of crappy people, and we just need to recognize it so that we can grow from there.
Yeah. And then
find your baseline.
Yeah.
Your worst part you ever were, and grow from that.
Grow from that. Learn from it. Right? You got to learn from it. Are we making sandwiches again?
We are. You are here. You're down here.
You are a bad person.
And you want to
Oh, no, we have to start nice.
Oh, that's totally different than baseline. We're giving them way too many
I'm sorry.
visual images.
So anyway, thank you for joining us on another wild episode.
Wild ride. We're just all over the place, and we're just grateful that you continue to listen to how crazy we are, and woo, as we air all of our
very dirty laundry.
Grievances.
Both, really. Our grievancing dirty laundry. But yeah, share with your friends. Share our podcast. Send it to a mom who could use a good chuckle. And also, we have a lot of people that aren't moms that listen. And we love...
shout out to you.
Yeah.
We have single dads that listen to us.
Yeah.
Like, shout out to the single dads who are killing it just like the single moms are.
Yeah.
And we recognize you.
We do. And we love and appreciate you.
We do. We know it's hard. I mean...
yeah, it is.
We're barely making it through life. It feels like we're swimming through mud daily. Up
Poop Creek without a boat.
Or a paddle. We smell.
Yeah.
We're drowning in stinky.
In sewage. Not stewage.
Stewage.
Anyway, thank you guys. Please share. Please like. Please tell the world about us because we tell the world about you.
While keeping it anonymous, of course.
Yeah, no, we would never air anybody else's dirty laundry. Just our own.
Yeah, we just save that for us.
Yeah.
Because we have no shame.
None.
We don't. We have zero shame.
Big old fat nothing. All right, guys, have a fantastic week.
Yes.
We will be back.
We will be back if the storm hasn't blown us away to bits.
Bits and pieces. All right, everybody. Goodbye.
Good day.
I said good day.
Ah!